What I want to do first is explain who I am and what the accelerating circularity is. So my name is Kirsi Roine. I have been working with textiles all my life. I have been on fibers. I have been in the viscose industry. I have been last 10 years building up a commercial side of recycling technology. Now I have been joining Accelerating Circularity to help others to really change the system from linear to circular. Who Accelerating Circularity is? We are a non-profit organization, very action-oriented. So what we do, we actually do the stuff. We are not just talking and reporting. We are doing trials. We are doing collaborative, different kind of like groups where we can talk about these things. We are bringing everybody together. Our mission is to build the circular system. And the vision is that finally there is a world where textiles are no longer called waste when they reach their end life. It's going to be feedstock. So, let's start with a simple observation. Textile circularity was always built as a straight line. So raw materials come in, products move through supply chain, we wear them, and eventually they leave the system. That model gives us incredible efficiency. We are quick, we have speed, we have scale. It's perfect, isn't it? But what happens with all that material that comes out from the other end? It will never bring the materials back. And today, circularity is asking that straight line to bend. Not just a little, it needs to come a full circle. And bending industry is actually much harder than inventing one single new technology. So, what circularity really is? It's not an innovation challenge. It's not technology challenge. It's actually a system challenge. So one thing that we see very clearly at Accelerating Circularity is that technology, it's not a challenge. It already exists. What is the challenge is that there isn't a system. There isn't a circular system. And when people are asking us, like, why this is so slow? Why it doesn't go faster? Why we are not already recycling? The whole system is still adjusting. There is collection, there is sorting, there is pre-processing, there is recycling, fiber production. Then there's a traditional line. And every single part needs to be bending. And when we think about these parts and how they need to be working effectively together, we are not bending the line just slightly. It's not something that if you bend from the one part, it might work. No, it doesn't. It never comes a full circle if you're not bending every single part of the system. Circularity is not a single innovation. It's a system. It's an industrial coordinated system. And that whole system needs to work together. Then there's a feedstock reality. Everything starts with feedstock. And if the feedstock is not in specification, it's not something that you can be using, it's not going to work. For example, if there's one truck of textiles coming into recycling, and there is one single item that is molded, and it's not good for using anymore, even not in recycling, the whole truckload is missed. And that's something that we need to remember when we are talking about feedstock. This is why the sorting happens in layers. First, you need to do the kind of like a hierarchy sorting. You take out, remove the fractions that should never have become into the recycling stream. Those ones that can be reused, repaired. And only after that comes the precision sorting. And that's the hard part, and that's the weak end, and that's where we get very fragile, because every single innovation needs a little bit of different feedstocks. And the precision sorting needs to be there. It needs to be the thing that we are all looking at very thoroughly. Yeah, I have been talking a lot about challenges, but the good news is that the innovation already exists. The technology is there. Pilots have been proven that they work. Some operations are already moving. They are going beyond the pilot phases. They are really going to the early scale. But simultaneously, if they don't get good feedstock, there isn't upstream demand, why are they scaling? There needs to be, the whole system needs to be working together in here also. And if we think about recycling technologies, it's always said that it's very expensive to use recycled materials. But they are new innovations. They are still in the scaling phase. And what that means is that they are optimizing. They are still looking at what kind of things we could be doing to make this more efficient. They are still looking at, okay, there is a feedstock coming, but it's not really on spec. So efficiency is not there yet. So when you go to scale, you start optimizing. And that's the time when you really start to scale. And that's the time when the pricing of those fibers is going to be something else that you see today. So, sorting and supply chain, I think that that's the most important part. That needs to be solved to really ensure that everything starts happening. We need to be faster, more accurate, more consistent. There is technologies like AI-supported identification, improved pre-processing, and that all is finally going to be leading to much better infrastructure. If we think about the industrial system itself, between the recycler and finished garment, there is a long chain still. There is fiber manufacturing, yarn manufacturing, fabric manufacturing, and finally apparel. And they need to be involved. We are typically talking about plug-and-play fibers entering the system, those recycled fibers. But you need to optimize those processes also. If you don't, you are in a situation that you are topping the price in every single step, finally ending up to an apparel that is in the price level that nobody's gonna buy. So we need to be optimizing together, not doing individual trials here and there. We need to do it together. And this is a massive, massive industrial system around the virgin materials that has been existing a longest time. Circularity doesn't happen if we are only looking at the beginning and the end. We need to look at the whole system. And the middle needs to bend well as well. To close, circularity is already happening. Technology exists, pilots exist, some systems are already scaling. What determines the speed now is the alignment. The textile industry was built as a straight line. Circular fashion does not start with the fiber. It starts with the system flexible enough to bend that line into a loop. And to be a little bit witty, I would say, right now, textile industry needs a little bit of elastane to bend the line. Thank you.